probably won't get a chance to do this ever, especially with this one. So we're up game planning, and just like he has now since I've been here in my different roles, especially as last year, every Monday, Michael Shearer would come in and spend some time with me and the defensive staff as we were putting together the plan. Somehow he ended up maintaining above a 3.0 GPA and graduating and all that good stuff. And so nothing's changed. It's amazing. He comes in today and checks out the board, kind of see what new calls we got going in. And he's a special guy to me. He's a special guy to our program, and means the world to me that all the things he's done for this place. And I've said it a number of times, if I've got two sons, and you know, if when they get to be Michael Shearer's age, if they act like him, that I know I've absolutely done something right as a dad. So I told him to come down here real quick. He's got things to do. He's going to go study the game plan, I think. So he's trying to talk Rex into coming back and getting a couple snaps. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to tell him thank you for everything he's done for Mizzou and for me personally and our football program. So love him, and he'll be in there next Monday helping us game plan a little bit. So anyway, you got anything? Need to say anything? We've got obviously got our work cut out for us, and haven't played well enough to win a game in the last 4 weeks, and that's, you know, obviously frustrating, disappointing for me that I haven't been able to get that done. We're going to continue to work in all aspects to work to get momentum on our side, and we haven't had it, and we've got to find a way to get it done. That's probably you know, you look at this defensively for me, one of the most disappointing parts that I haven't been able to get done. We haven't tackled well, and this haven't played consistent enough. So we've got to find a way to get that done, and that's what we're working on. You know, and I think that we've got guys at times last week played better on both sides of the ball. We haven't played well together, and there's been, you know, times that you get into the game, into the flow of the game, and whether it be a 3rd and 1 and jump off sides, whether it be a face mask penalty on a 3rd down defensively, we're just not playing clean enough, and that's I've got to get that fixed. So I recognize that and realize it, and we are, as a staff, you know, doing everything we can to put our guys in position to go be in a game in the 4th quarter to win it. And I still believe that we've got the opportunity to do that. And we had a really good practice last night, and our guys are. There's been a bunch of guys come through today on what the game plan is, what it's looking like, where we're at this point. So they're hungry and want it as much as anything. So you know, I wish we had different results right now, you know, a win-loss record, but it's not. And you know, it's hard for me to say out loud, but that's who I am right now. And I've got to get better. I've got to get this team better, and I will get it done. I'm going to you know, keep on swinging, and we'll break through. So I'll answer any questions.
Where's Newsom staying health-wise?
Yeah, he had a testing done Sunday and then a little bit more yesterday. He didn't practice last night. Still pretty sore. I would say he would be probable would be at this point. I don't, with Donovan as much experience as he has, really guys at the spot that we're asking him to play. You know, the other day, some of the things that we built in, really when he went down, that's about in our different packages defensively. It's about 4 different spots. So, you know, I'm hoping we can get him back and just play base defense with him and maybe do a couple other things. But we'll know. Gabe will probably won't really have a clearer picture till Thursday. So again, I want him. He's going to go through everything, and if he can practice a little bit tomorrow, we'll see. You know, and again, there's a lot of difference in being able to function and in limited practice and then actually go play. So I'm not worried from his mental capacity on picking up the game plan and what we're doing this week. I won't be worried about that for him because he'll do a great job studying video and being prepared, but just physically if he can do it. Now the one thing about Donovan, he hasn't ever been a real vocal guy, ever. But Saturday night he was very vocal, and it means so much to him. It tore him up that he couldn't go play, and he realizes, I think, as a lot of those guys do, there's not much time left in their senior year. So he's yesterday and spent a lot of time in the training room, and I'm sure has continued to do that today, trying to get back to get ready to go. He will if he can. If there's any chance at all, he'll be on the field.
You mentioned him being a senior. You don't have a lot of upperclassmen from the 2012, 13, 14 class. How much has that affected you guys this year, not having maybe that upperclassman leadership?
Well, there's been a lot of attrition. Look at those classes. That's happened. Offensively, we were playing one senior and two sometimes. Defensively, there's more. But you've got, that's why early on in the this year, back during two-a-days, I decided not to just make 4 captains, just because I thought, from a program standpoint, we needed as many guys as we could get, whether you're a freshman or sophomore or whatever your classification is. I needed those guys, and we're still working on it. It's going to be a daily process on getting those guys to lead and lead the right way. So it's I can stand here all I want and say, hey, we need to lead, go lead, go lead. I've got to show them how to lead, and that's important for us to do. For the development and moving this program forward, we've got to have guys, we're starting to meet now with our freshman class. We started a couple weeks ago, just meeting and teaching and talking leadership training. It's like another class for them, because I think that it's so important as those guys get into the program, after the recruiting process, when you get here, I need them, those young guys, they need to lead by example. They need to lead by actions, and I'm not going to assume that they just know how to lead. So I'm trying to be proactive with that, with the guys that we're bringing in on this is leadership, what it looks like, and it's uncomfortable, sometimes for guys to be leaders, because they're either quiet, go do their job, and worry about them. I need them to bring on a bunch of other guys. So it's something I look forward to doing with those younger guys in that training class that will help us down the road for sure.
3 other guys, Trezol, John Gibson, and Alec Ablin, were they all soon?
Yeah, all 3 of them practiced last night, and it was good to see Therese back out there. We missed him the other day not being in there. Ablin was better last night than he did last week at any point. And then John Gibson practiced really well.
They all expect to have all available?
Yes. Yeah.
Eric, how do you handle kind of criticism and scrutiny, and you not look at the email? You're kind of in a different position than you were a coordinator.
Yeah. I understand that comes with it, and this job's very public, and as it should be. There's a lot of people that want Mizzou football to be really good, but I lead the charge on that. I want us to be really good too, and good, I mean winning games. I understand there's going to good and bad come along with sitting in the chair. I'm not a very good person I don't take losses very well, and I won't ever. And with emails and things like that, I should come in and read some of those. That would be I think we'd all get a pretty good kick out of that, or maybe not. Maybe it's yeah, I sent it. You're right. But that's part of it. So I forever will use a lot of stuff as motivation. There's plenty of motivation. There'll be a lot more, but internally I just still say I want to do right for my guys and trying to get them there. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Is it harder than I thought? No, not really. I knew what I was up against.
long has TJ Ward been working at the strong side linebacker spot?
4 days. So he had all practices last week.
Okay, is that just kind of when Therese?
Yeah.
What
And
allows?
Therese went out on Wednesday. So really, TJ had practiced it, but only in a nickel situation. So not most of our base calls. So not much.
Was it just necessity, or is there something?
Yeah, I mean, he was our number 3. I mean, that's where we're at depth-wise. So I wish we were differently, but we're not. That's where our roster is. So, and he did, to TJ's credit, he went in and he competed, and it was fairly, for the most part, out of really 70 snaps, he was assignment sound, and did a pretty good job.
Is he going to stay there this week?
Yeah.
Barry, you said Saturday that you didn't have much to say about the offense. You were kind of focused on the defensive side. You needed to see film. What did you see in film from the offense against Kentucky, and what was your review?
Well, we didn't early on. Didn't play very well. We inconsistent and didn't convert enough. We got down in the red zone. Didn't come away with points. And the thing that we probably struggled with the most on Saturday was having the ability to run the ball, and that took away from a lot of other things. We've got to have that in our favor to be able to. We don't have to go rush for 250 yards, but we've got to be able to take some off the pass game and try to get with our running attack, try to get some different things coverage-wise. But we weren't able to get that established the other day. So we've got to do a better job blocking. We've got to do a better job of running, and that'll open things up offensively a little bit if we can get that done. The times we've had success offensively, we've been able to run the ball, and we got to get that back.
The guys said after the game that a lot more of the defensive game plan was what you guys ran, similar to what you guys ran last year. How much of that was going back to last year's defense, and how much was doing what you've done the first 7 weeks?
No, it was a balance of still collectively everybody in the room having ideas, but went back to majority of some of the things that we had done previously last year, and it was a very, very basic game plan. Because I feel if the guy that was just if Michael Shears out there, he can call it and get 9 other guys lined up around him, and the other guy be okay. But that's not where we're at. I've got to do a great job teaching them this week. We'll be better this week than we were last week, just from a fit standpoint, schematically. Kel Garrett's never run a snap of what we did last year, so it was teaching and learning for him. Beisel and Burkett and Brandon Lee, none have really played that much in my that system last year. And then a couple of guys on the front line, Markel, is all new to him. So, new to enough guys, but still some carryover on older guys could piece it together, and our staff did a really good job in 3 days getting it installed. And then we'll be better. We'll be better this week than we were last week. I believe that.
How much does it help guys like Anthony Sherrill, who maybe he's had a little bit of trouble picking up the scheme this year, to go back to that?
No, I think it's about teaching them. It's about getting them to understand it. And but there were things that Ant did better last week, and maybe that's because he was familiar with some. But some of the coverage principles we were doing this past week were exactly what we've been doing like the first 6 weeks or whatever this year.
Up until this past week, had you been as involved in the defense as you had thought you would when you took the job? I mean, what was kind of the plan going in?
I needed to get into it really, because of course I could sit down and say, hey, I'm going to, this is the time that I'm going to spend, but as things would come up, I would get brought away from being in there. So probably not as much maybe as I anticipated, really, just being very honest with it. But then since last week, I guess, my Sunday, I put everything else, and I'll get to that, at 10 or 11 at night, and get that part of it done.
Beisel's been here for a while. I haven't played a whole lot. What did you see from him on Saturday?
He did some good things. It's interesting that he sees it. He sees it happen in front of there's time that he needs to slow down just a little bit sometimes. I mean, he sees it, and he almost beats it to the spot, gets him out of position some. So that's a balance on, I mean, he's done a great job of film study. He's a great, loyal person in the program. He's done everything I've asked him to do. Tremendous kid, and he's got some football ability, but just be quick, but don't hurry, whatever that saying is, you know what I'm saying? He's sometimes so, he wants to go so fast, let it play out a little bit at times. So he'll be better this week than he was, but he did do some good things on Saturday.
There are a lot of guys his age that left the program, they weren't playing much. Has he been a guy who's committed at all?
He hasn't, you know, if you look at what Eric's done this year, he's been a starter on every special team. You know, kickoff return, yes, punt return. I mean, he's been on them all, kickoff. So he's played a number of snaps of football, just not much defense ball. So, but he's a leader. He's a leader in the weight room. He's great in the meeting rooms. I love the kid.
I think you can look at defensive guys that had their first head coaching job in the SEC, like Mark Stoops or Derek Mason. Can you look to what they've done as a roadmap at all?
I've talked to both of them, you know, so I'm always into learning from others, from what others do well, and what they've learned from, maybe teachable moments. And, you know, the profession's pretty amazing. Guys are willing to help guys out, and I respect that. And, you know, Mark and I talked at great length on Saturday about a number of things. And he's in year 4, and like I said, he finally feels like he's got it figured out a little bit on how things are structured, and I took a lot of mental notes. Not many defensive guys around, I understand that.
Can you, I made that for a couple of weeks, any update on Tanner Owen? Is he still on the roster? I didn't know. If
Yeah, he is. I don't, you know, he had a medical procedure. I can't say a lot more. He's not in a position to be able to come back this year.
Is he still in school though?
Yes, sir.
You anticipate maybe in the future, or don't know?
I sure
mean,
hope so.
would he be
Yeah.
welcome to-
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But Nate Brown's in a decision.
I don't know that Nate's going to, still he can run, you know, we just line up and run him on a vertical route every time, he'd be all right. But I don't know at this point that he's going to be able to, I'm not giving up. He's another kid, that's a great kid. I mean, he does things right in every walk of life, and he's got a chance, you know, to have a great career here on. I don't know that getting him back, because he's not ready this week, maybe look the following week out of that, is it worth for him, you know, where we're at in the season? I don't know, because I really watching him run, I don't know that he'd be ready next week either. And again, straight ahead speed looks really good, but unfortunately at playing receiver, you got to do a couple more things other than run as fast as you can straight ahead. So see where it's at. He's done a great job throughout the process of just rehabbing. I mean, he's still in his mind, he's like, I'm getting back. You know, I'm getting back. That's his mindset. So I respect that. And it's hard to do. You get an injury, you know, that guy that's a starter or a good player and gets an injury early that knocks him out, has surgery. You know, you can go a lot of different ways with that. You can shut it down completely, but he hasn't. He's responded. He's done awesome. He could, you know, that's kind of the plan on how guys, when they have an injury, and what they need to do. It's like Terry Beckner told me last week. We were talking about his situation and, you know, him having a procedure here coming up. You know, he said, oh, Coach, I'm going to come back bigger and badder than ever. And that's a pretty good mindset to have. So I had a couple of those in college, and that wasn't my mindset. So it's learn from it.